To give her a hand clap for just being so diligent and serving, amen. Thank you so much for being there for me. She has my back, amen. My side and my front, amen. She is there, man. She is tremendous, and we thank her so much for everything that she does. Amen. Today I'm going to be speaking about perseverance unlocking the promises. Amen. Perseverance that unlocks the promises of God. This is so important to understand. This is so important to know, because sometimes we want the promises of God, amen. We want what God has said that we should have, and sometimes we don't understand that before you get the promise, sometimes you got to persevere. Yes. Before you get the promise, sometimes you got to endure some things. Yes. Before you get what God says you're going to have, sometimes you got to walk some things out, amen. Yes. You got to go from A and you got to get to B before God can give you C, amen. Yes, yes. Throughout biblical history, we have always seen that perseverance has been divinely connected to breakthroughs and triumphs. And are simply the thing that unlocks the promises of God, amen? Amen. It's safe to even say that every promise is the direct product of perseverance itself, amen? The Bible itself speaks expressly about the topic of perseverance. If we go to Galatians chapter 6, verse 9, we read here in Galatians chapter 6, verse 9. It should be on the board in just a moment, amen? Or on the screen, rather. And Galatians chapter 6, verse 9 says, "Let us not grow weary in well-doing, for in due time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." Somebody say, don't give up. Don't give up. I know it looks tough, but don't give up. I know it looks like nothing is happening, but don't give up. I know it looks like it might be the end, but don't give up. If we would just don't grow weary in well-doing. I want to talk to you today about perseverance. Amen. Amen. And let us not grow weary, and while we're doing good, for in due season we shall reap if we don't lose heart, if we don't give up. Paul is writing to the Galatians by spiritual direction, and he says to them, your breakthrough is on the side of your perseverance. He tells them you have to hold on even when it seems like you don't have help. You have to keep going even when it seems like people are telling you to stop. Yes. He's telling you you have to endure the good fight to the very end. Amen. But he don't just tell them to endure. He tells them you have to persevere. Amen. Amen. He also says that if you do so, there is something on the other side of it, amen. There's a breakthrough on the other side of it. There is something that you're going to reap, but you might not see it right now, amen. Because it's on the other side of it, and you're not going to get to it unless you go through something. Somebody look at somebody and say, you got to go through something. You can't just keep letting things and thinking that things is going to come to you easy, amen. That things are going to always just unravel at your feet. Sometimes you got to go through something, amen. Amen. Before you can get what God has for you. He says there's a reward on the other side.